All right, guys, so welcome to this video. I'm joined here by trader and chart analyst Peter Brandt. For the last almost 45 minutes, me and Peter and our members have been talking about all kinds of markets, stock markets, Bitcoin, currency. It's been really interesting. For those of you who don't know Peter, he's been a trader now for almost 40 years, author of several great books. I'll put a bio here for you guys so you can quickly read it as well. Peter's been trading the markets now for almost 40 years. Something I didn't find out until tonight when I was interviewing Peter was he actually trades Bitcoin as well. Quite a surprise to me because I thought he was only interested in it from a chart perspective, but no, it seems he trades Bitcoin as well. But the question I have for Peter is this. Peter, so there are some people out there who believe that Bitcoin could eventually go to $1 million. In fact, let me share with you a chart. I'll put it in a screen so everybody can see it. Here it is. Guys, I think you can probably see this chart. Can you see it, Peter, as well?
Yes, I can. I can see that.
Now, this is not my own chart, just to let you know. This is a chart posted by somebody who wrote an article on TradingView. His name is The Elk. And he basically, what he did was, Peter, something quite interesting, as you might have guessed. He basically projected every parabolic rise, every rise in Bitcoin going to the past. So, you know, the rises we've seen in the previous bull phases, the previous bull markets of Bitcoin. And he's basically got to $1 million. It's basically, as you can see here, he's got to $1 million by the year I think it says over here that by the year 2024 or 2025, Bitcoin will hit, according to him, according to his projection, is going to potentially hit 2025 by that year, which to me sounds a little bit too soon, I think. But let me just turn that chart off. So before I let you answer, before you come and answer a question, Peter, here's what I think. Could Bitcoin go to $1 million? Honestly, I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. But here's one potential problem I have with this, which is, let me show you. Some years ago, I read this book. You might have heard about this yourself, Peter. It's called Chaos Theory. You might have heard of Chaos Theory, and I think people watching this video may have heard about it. It's a scientific theory. For those of you who don't know what chaos theory is, it's a scientific theory which has been proven now that certain systems are sensitive to initial conditions. Certain systems like the weather, traffic, human beings, the brain, human brain, and the markets, the financial markets, are subject to what's called nonlinear systems or chaos theory, essentially, or chaotic systems. And by the way, I recommend this book as the best book on chaos theory by James Gleick. I read this like about 20 years ago, I think it was. And basically, by the way, a trader you may know, Linda Raschke, Peter. She mentioned I know her well. In the book Market Wizards, I think it was this book, Market Wizards. Yep. Linda Raschke says that the reason why she does not project or predict too far into the future is because of chaos theory, because it puts limitations. Chaos theory puts limitations on how far into the future you can predict. So she says, look, it's better to project into near term as opposed to too long term. Too long term, she says, it becomes too unpredictable because of chaos theory, because anything can happen. I mean, it's the butterfly effect, by the way. That's another name for the chaos theory is butterfly effect. Butterfly effect because it means that a small change, it means a small change in the initial conditions can lead to massive changes in the future. So the flapping of the wings of a butterfly here could lead to a hurricane or a tornado in Texas. So initial changes, small changes can lead to massively different results. That's my point of view. That's why I think there's a major problem with projecting too far into the future, like years ahead, that Bitcoin could reach $1 million. Now, it could reach $1 million, I don't know, but I want to hear your point of view. What is your view, Peter Brandt, what is your view about Bitcoin hitting $1 million? And do you think it's possible or probable? And if not, what's your point? What's your view?
Well, you know, it could be, but I need to tell you that I'm personally training for the 2020 Olympics in the 100-meter dash. So that,
yeah.
And so, yeah, the cow could also jump over the moon. You know,
is that for real? So you're actually training for the Olympics?
No, I'm making a joke of that. I mean, it's like anything's possible, but is it probable? I want to think. I'm a probability thinker, in more specifically, I'm a Bayesian probability thinker. I believe in something called
I've heard of
Bayesian
Bayesian
probability.
probability. For those of people who don't know, could you explain what that is?
Well, if I'm going to make a presupposition that Bitcoin's going to $1 million, it's going to have to verify itself in the process. It's not a fixed, one-time, one and done probability forecast. That I henceforth right now predict Bitcoin to $1 million. You can't do that under Bayesian probability. That is just not a statement that holds together. It is a statement subject to chaos theory, to the butterfly effect, because the reality is for Bitcoin to go to $1 million, it has to go to 10,000 first, and then it has to go to 20,000, then it has to go to 50,000, then it has to go to 100,000. As a trader, I'm not interested in buying lows and selling highs. As a trader, I'm interested in playing the game using U.S. football, not European or world football, as a comparison. I'm interested in playing the game between the 20 or 30 yard lines, not from end zone to end zone. And so I just want a chunk in the middle. And so if it goes to $1 million, I don't need to be long here at 8,000 and get out at $1 million. Just give me 60% of the distance in between, and I'm just fine with it. And so it's going to have to do certain things to tell me that it's going to go to $1 million and give me opportunities to be along for the ride for 60% of it. And so I just think that's not the kind of prediction that I make. And when I even say that there's a 50% chance of Bitcoin going to zero and a 50% of it going to 100,000, the 100,000 is not a prediction. It's just something that could happen. I do not believe in certainties. I do not believe actually even in pure probabilities. I believe in possibilities. As a trader, I'm a possibility trader. I believe in possibilities happening. I believe it's possible that the U.S. corn crop is going to get wiped out this year and you have to be long corn. That doesn't mean I mortgage my house and buy corn futures. It means that I pointed in one direction and now I need to let Bayesian probability verify my position as we go along. And so that's how I think when somebody says Bitcoin to $1 million.
I'm really interested to know more about your points about probabilities. We'll discuss this in a separate section, separate video as well. I agree with you. Actually, let's go back to something you mentioned. I agree with you about one thing. What Peter just said is a very good point, which is that first we need to look at the targets. Like, can Bitcoin first of all get above 10,000? That's first. Then 10,000 to 15, and then 20,000. Once we get to 20,000, if we get there, and let's say we get there in the next year or so, or 2021, then we can look towards the next targets, 30, 40, 50. But I totally agree with Peter. Trying to make these kind of projections to $1 million by the year 2025, that totally ignores a lot of things that could happen. Again, the butterfly effect, chaos theory. For example, what it ignores is this: something major could happen in the world in the next couple of years that could blow that whole projection or prediction out of the blue. For example, what if there's a recession in the next couple of years? A lot of folks believe that a lot of data suggests that we could have a recession in the next couple of years, as you've seen in our previous videos. We don't know what Bitcoin will do in a recession. Some people think it's going to go up. Some people think, actually, a lot of the data suggests Bitcoin could go down significantly lower in a recession for reasons we explained in a previous video. And also, guys, make sure you check out Peter's website and Twitter and YouTube as well. I'll put that for you in the description, and also in the I'll put that in the editing as well. Peter's website, by the way, is peterlbrandt.com as well, so you can check out his stuff as well. So make sure you go ahead and follow his tweets and subscribe to his channel and check out his website. Thank you very much, guys. Join us in the next video with Peter. It's going to be really fantastic.